Have you ever pondered the factors that led to the decline of the once powerful Awadh kingdom under British rule? Picture a kingdom of grandeur and cultural richness in the heart of the Indian subcontinent. This was the Awadh kingdom, an epicenter of cultural and artistic brilliance, known for its stunning architecture, intricate handicrafts, and soulful music. But it's not just the culture that made Awadh significant. This kingdom, situated in what's now modern-day Uttar Pradesh, also held strategic importance due to its fertile land and location along major trade routes. Then along came the British East India Company, a force that would forever alter the course of Awadh's history. With an eye on the kingdom's wealth and strategic location, the company began to take interest in Awadh. Their actions in the years to come would lead to a significant shift in the kingdom's fortunes. Now let's delve into the beginning of the end for the Awadh kingdom. The Treaty of 1801 marked the beginning of the downfall of the Awadh kingdom. This was no ordinary treaty. It was a strategic maneuver by the British East India Company, keen on expanding their territories and influence in the Indian subcontinent. The Treaty of 1801 was signed between the Nawab of Awadh, Saadat Ali Khan, and the British East India Company. Under the treaty's terms, Saadat Ali Khan agreed to cede about half of Awadh's territories to the company. These territories included rich and fertile lands that were of immense strategic and economic importance. This was a significant blow to the kingdom's sovereignty and economic health. But why did Saadat Ali Khan agree to such a treaty, you might ask? Well, the Nawab of Awadh was under immense pressure from the company. He was made to believe that the only way to avoid an outright invasion and possible dethronement was to sign the treaty. The company, on the other hand, was more than happy to exploit the Nawab's fears to their advantage. The loss of territory, as vast as it was not the only blow dealt by the treaty. The Kingdom of Awadh was reduced to a vassal state of the British East India Company, its autonomy severely compromised. The company took over the administration of the ceded territories, collecting taxes and maintaining law and order. The Nawab and his subjects were left at the mercy of a foreign power. The Treaty of 1801 drastically altered the power dynamics in the region. It marked the beginning of a new era, an era of British dominance and control. The once mighty Kingdom of Awadh, which had been a beacon of culture and prosperity, was now a shadow of its former self. The loss of territory was just the beginning. The real trouble was yet to come. The treaty set the stage for further encroachments by the British, leading to more loss of autonomy and ultimately the annexation of the kingdom. The Treaty of 1801 was a turning point in the history of Awadh, a point of no return. Following the treaty, the reign of Wajid Ali Shah was marked by misrule and extravagance. The 10th and last Nawab of Awadh, Wajid Ali Shah, ascended the throne in the year 1847, a time when the kingdom was already riddled with problems. Wajid Ali Shah was a man of fine taste, a patron of the arts and a lover of grandeur. He was known for his extravagant lifestyle, a far cry from the austerity that his kingdom required during such trying times. He lavished wealth on music, dance, and poetry, creating a culturally rich court, but leaving the state coffers depleted. The Nawab's court was a spectacle of opulence, with grand feasts, elaborate performances, and glittering assemblies. However, while the court reveled in luxury, the kingdom was suffering. The administration was in a state of disarray, with corruption rampant among officials. Wajid Ali Shah's reign was characterized by a marked negligence towards state affairs. He left the administration in the hands of corrupt and incompetent officials, leading to widespread mismanagement. The military was neglected and weakened, the economy was in shambles, and the people of the kingdom were left to bear the brunt of these missteps. This period of misrule and extravagance had a profound impact on Awadh. The kingdom, once a bastion of prosperity and culture, was now spiraling into decline. The weakening of the kingdom was not just a consequence of Wajid Ali Shah's rule, but it was certainly exacerbated by it. But while Wajid Ali Shah was neglecting his kingdom, someone else was eyeing it. The British East India Company, which had already made significant inroads into the Indian subcontinent, saw an opportunity in the misrule of Awadh. The weakened state of the kingdom provided the perfect backdrop for the company to tighten its grip. Wajid Ali Shah's rule was the perfect opportunity for the British to tighten their grip on Awadh. The misrule of Wajid Ali Shah was not just a period of decline for Awadh, but also a stepping stone for the British in their quest for control over the Indian subcontinent. In 1856, the British East India Company made their most decisive move. The fertile lands of Awadh, with its rich culture and history, were annexed, a move that would forever change the course of the region's history. To understand the annexation, it's important to delve into the doctrine of lapse, a policy introduced by the then Governor-General of India, Lord Dalhousie. The policy stated that any princely state or territory would automatically be annexed if the ruler was either incompetent or died without a male heir. The British East India Company used this policy as a tool to expand its territories in India. Now, let's turn our attention back to Awadh. The kingdom was ruled by Wajid Ali Shah, who was deemed incompetent by the British. They claimed that the kingdom was in a state of disarray under his rule, with rampant corruption and poor administration. This, they argued, was causing suffering to the people of Awadh. The British, with their self-proclaimed sense of moral obligation, decided to intervene. Thus, under the pretext of introducing proper administration, the British annexed Awadh. However, it's worth noting that this was not an altruistic act. The fertile lands of Awadh were a lucrative asset for the British, promising rich agricultural yields and a strategic location. The annexation was a calculated move aimed at increasing the wealth and power of the British East India Company. The annexation was met with strong resistance from the people of Awadh, who were deeply attached to their ruler and their land. However, the British, with their superior military strength, managed to suppress the resistance and take control of the region. This move marked a significant shift in the balance of power in the region. It was a clear demonstration of the British East India Company's ambition and their willingness to manipulate policies to serve their own interests. It was a stark reminder of the burgeoning power of the British in India. With this annexation, Awadh was officially under British rule. The annexation of Awadh was not accepted quietly. It was one of the key triggers for the Great Revolt of 1857. Awadh, a region rich in culture and history, found itself at the epicenter of this revolt. Its people, who had already borne the brunt of British misrule and annexation, rose up in a fierce expression of defiance, fueled by a deep-seated resentment and a burning desire for freedom. The revolt was a major uprising against the British rule, one that shook the foundations of the British Empire in India. It was not merely a military rebellion, it was a popular uprising that saw participation from all sections of society: peasants, artisans, soldiers, and even the nobility of Awadh. The spark that ignited the revolt was the introduction of the new Enfield rifle by the British East India Company. The cartridges of these rifles were rumored to be greased with cow and pig fat, deeply offensive to the religious sentiments of both Hindu and Muslim soldiers. This blatant disregard for their beliefs was the final straw for the sepoys, the Indian soldiers in the company's army. The revolt started in Meerut, but it quickly spread to other parts of North India, including Awadh. The people of Awadh, led by Begum Hazrat Mahal, the wife of the exiled Nawab, fought bravely. They put up a fierce resistance, holding the British forces at bay for several months. However, despite their courage and determination, the revolt ultimately failed. The British, with superior weaponry and resources, were able to suppress the rebellion. The aftermath was brutal. The British exacted a heavy toll, with mass hangings and the destruction of many historical monuments in Awadh. The revolt may have failed, but it marked the beginning of a larger freedom struggle in India. The revolt of 1857, while unsuccessful, ignited a spark of resistance that would eventually lead to India's independence. It was a poignant reminder of the courage and spirit of the people of Awadh, their love for their land, and their unwavering desire for freedom. The decline of the Awadh kingdom under British rule was marked by treaties, annexations, and revolts. We began our journey with the Treaty of 1801, which set the stage for the British to gain control over Awadh, manipulating its sovereignty. Then, we delved into the misrule of Wajid Ali Shah, a reign that was marred by extravagance and negligence, providing the British with an excuse to annex the kingdom in 1856. The annexation was a significant turning point, not just for Awadh, but for India as a whole. leading to the infamous Revolt of 1857. This uprising was a testament to the indomitable spirit of the Indian people, who did not bow down without a fight. But remember, the story of Awadh is more than just the decline of a kingdom. It's a crucial chapter in the struggle for India's freedom, a struggle that continues to shape the nation we are today. By understanding the past, we gain a deeper appreciation for the freedoms we enjoy today. The story of Awadh is one such tale from the annals of our shared history.